Put your hands together for your next comedian. This dapper gentleman dressed over here, Rick.
Thanks, Gino.
You're welcome.
Tonight I want to talk about the difference between men and women, and I wish there was more women here, but it is what it is. So I have first-hand knowledge of it because my son and the love of his life have a beautiful how they met story. So he had been dating her for about a month, and he decided it was time to introduce her to the family. So he had a little get-together, and when I was there, I asked her, like, how did you meet my son? And she tells me, it's a beautiful story. I had been divorced for about a year, and I had a roommate, and she kept bugging me, like, you gotta find somebody. You can't sit home every Saturday night. You gotta get some out there because you're way too stressed. So she said, I put together a dating profile, and within 1 hour, she had 72 responses. I'm gonna pause the story there, and how many men are here with a woman tonight? Can you raise your hand or say something? All right, we got like one, maybe two back there. Not very many, but I have another question for you. But before I let you answer it, I'm going to give you the hints on how you should answer. So the question is, do you think the woman you're with tonight would get 72 responses in an hour from a dating profile? Now here are your hints. If she's got the keys to the car and you don't want to walk home tonight, you're going to want to raise your hand. If you and her have a joint checking account, you're going to want to raise your hand. And if you expect to get some, you're going to want to raise your hand. So let me see if you're the only guy, I guess. So when she gets 72 responses in an hour, just raise your hand anyway. All right, there we go. I did that one time. I had a really, really smart guy in the audience. He stood up and said, my wife would get 100 responses. And I'm pretty sure he got lucky that night. So back to the story. So she goes on to say that out of the 72 responses, the only one I messaged back was your son. Now my son, he's a good guy. He's got a great job. He's funny. He's smart. But I go to her like, why would you message him out of 72? And she says, well, I'm a psychology major and I'm working on a PhD. And in the field of psychology, there's the Myers-Briggs test. Now, I don't know if anybody knows what it is, but it's basically a series of questions you answer to determine what of the 16 different types of personalities you are. Now, I've taken the test and I don't get it because I don't think they give you enough data to answer the questions. Like the one question is like, do you like tall women? Well, I can't answer that because I don't have enough information. So if it was worded, do you like hot tall women? I could answer that one. Or do you like rich tall women? I could answer that one too, but they don't. And so she tells me that she put her personality type in the profile, and my son did the same thing. And that's why she answered his message. Now I think they should come up with a 17th personality type, and that would be for serial killers. Because it would be really good to know that you don't have to pay your credit card bills if you go on a date with him. So they go talking, and he eventually asks her out for coffee. And about an hour before the coffee date, she texts him that she's not ready to get out there, and she decides that she cancels the date. And she tells me that my son was so understanding, so respectful, so gracious in getting dumped in a text an hour before the date that she changed her mind. And they wound up getting married, and I have a little granddaughter with them. So, thank you. Yeah, she's beautiful. But there is that's the woman's version. So later that night, I asked my son, how did you and her meet? And he goes, Dad, I met her online. That's it. That's all I got from him. So with the woman, we get the beautiful story, and with the guy, we met online. And that's pretty much the difference between men and women. Thank you very much, and all have a great night. Drive safe.
All right, again, another applause for Rick. How you guys doing tonight?